For remaining 80% current affairs video and general studies complete videos, please subscribe to our complete package. 3. India-Pak ties will help region, said United States of America. How the affiliation between India and Pakistan is gaining grounds presently. Why is Kashmir disputed? How dangerous is the Kashmir dispute? Why has there been so much violence in Indian-administered Kashmir? What's changing now? What remained unchanged? What measures may work in solving the Kashmir dispute? GS Paper 2, India and its neighbors. How the affiliation between India and Pakistan is gaining grounds presently. There is insufficient recognition in Pakistan about the pain, anguish and anger that cross-border terrorism has caused in India. It is a positive sign that Indian Foreign Minister has visited Pakistan. India has very important role to play in security and stability in Afghanistan and across the region. Good relations between India and Pakistan will not only benefit the two countries but also the entire region. Indians have suffered greatly at hands of terrorists. Many lives have been lost in terrorist attacks in Pakistan. Pakistan government realized and decides to act against terrorist groups. We must break out of this deadlock and must leave behind a better future for our children, grandchildren and the coming generations. India and Pakistan present one of the worst examples of bad neighborly relations anywhere in the world. Why is Kashmir disputed? The territory of Kashmir was hotly contested even before India and Pakistan won their independence from Britain. Under the partition plan provided by the Indian Independence Act of 1947, Kashmir was free to accede to India or Pakistan. The Maharaja, Hari Singh, wanted to stay independent but eventually decided to accede to India, signing over key powers to the Indian government, in return for military aid and a promised referendum. Since then, the territory has been the spark for two of the three India-Pakistan wars, the first in 1947-8, the second in 1965. In 1999, India fought a brief but bitter conflict with Pakistani-backed forces, who had infiltrated Indian-controlled territory in the Kargil area. How dangerous is the Kashmir dispute? Potentially this is one of the most dangerous disputes in the world. The dispute in the worst-case scenario could trigger a nuclear conflict between two countries. But the recent warming of relations between Delhi and Islamabad has led to less contention over the Kashmir dispute. In 1998, India and Pakistan both declared themselves to be nuclear powers with a string of nuclear tests. In 2002, there was a huge deployment of troops on both sides of the border, as India reacted to an armed attack on the National Parliament in Delhi the previous December. India said the attack was carried out by Pakistani-based militants, assisted by the Pakistan government, a charge always denied by Pakistan. Why has there been so much violence in Indian-administered Kashmir? Although in recent years violence in Indian-administered Kashmir has reduced, the causes of the insurgency have not gone away. Many people in the territory, especially in the Kashmir Valley, do not want it to be governed by India. They would prefer to be either independent or part of Pakistan. The population of the Indian-administered state of Jammu and Kashmir is over 60% Muslim, making it the only state within India where Muslims are in the majority. While violent demonstrations and curfews no longer take place on a daily basis, always there will be a tinderbox effect on streets of Srinagar. What's changing now? For much of the 1990s, separatist militancy and cross-border firing between the Indian and Pakistani armies left a death toll running into tens of thousands, and a population traumatized by fighting and fear. While the relations are not pleasant from 2000 onwards, tension again resurfaced with the Mumbai-Bombay attacks of November 2008, in which gunmen from Pakistan killed 165 people. In 2003, the two countries agreed to a ceasefire across the Line of Control (LOC) that divides Indian and Pakistani-administered Kashmir. In 2006, Pakistan said it stopped all funding for militant operations in Kashmir, ignoring protests by some of the more influential groups. In February 2010, India announced an amnesty for fighters from Indian-administered Kashmir, saying they could return from Pakistani territory. Early in 2012, Islamabad cut by half the administrative funds it issues to groups that still maintain offices in Pakistani-administered Kashmir. At the same time, it offered a cash rehabilitation package to former fighters to abandon militancy. What remained unchanged? One thing that has unchanged is the Line of Control (LOC), which divides Kashmir on an almost 2-to-1 basis. Indian-administered Kashmir to the east and south, population about 9 million, known by India as Jammu and Kashmir state. And Pakistani-administered Kashmir to the north and west, population about 3 million, which is labeled by Pakistan as Azad Kashmir, Free Kashmir. China also controls a small portion of Kashmir. What steps may work in solving the Kashmir dispute? India and Pakistan must engage freely elected representatives of the Kashmiri people as full and equal partners in all Kashmir negotiations. There must be a third-party mediation such as US President Barack Obama. The guiding principle for US government policy on the resolution of this conflict must be based on previous international commitments and the core American values of human rights, justice and the rule of law. Release all detainees who are held in custody without charges. Create conducive conditions to allow the peaceful return of all refugees to Kashmir. 2. Mudra Scheme. Rs 1.22 lakh crore loan disbursement target for banks. GS Paper 2. Welfare schemes for vulnerable sections of the population by the center and states. Why recently in news? The Ministry of Finance on Tuesday said banks will disburse credit to tune of Rs 1.22 lakh crore to small and marginal entrepreneurs during the current fiscal under the Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana (PMMY). Public sector banks are expected to disburse Rs 70,000 crore and private sector and foreign banks Rs 30,000 crore. While the regional rural banks have a target to disburse Rs 22,000 crore. As of November 25, the total amount disbursed under the PMMY is Rs 45,948.28 crore. What is Mudra Scheme? Microunits Development and Refinance Agency, Mudra, is a financial initiative by PM Narendra Modi, created in order to facilitate the micro units and provide them sufficient funds in order to develop. Small businesses are often unable to avail loans from banks because of lack of collateral and insufficient funds to pay off the interest. There are almost 577 crore small businesses currently functioning in India. This is a scheme to provide loans to small businesses and micro institutions. For now, it will just refinance these institutions. Which are the three stages of Mudra scheme? This scheme would intervene in providing finance to these micro institutions in three stages. Shishu. Under the Shishu stage, Mudra will provide a loan up to Rs 50,000 to small businesses. Kishore. Next is the Kishore stage. Under this stage, Mudra will provide loans of an amount ranging from Rs 50,000 up to Rs 5 lakh. Taran. Last stage of intervention is the Taran stage. Under this stage, loans of amounts ranging from Rs 5 lakh to Rs 10 lakh will be provided. What are the objectives of Mudra scheme? To lay down policy guidelines to finance micro, small enterprises. To get all microfinance institutions and entities registered and regulate the same. To help small businesses grow and develop their enterprise further. To assist lower income groups in setting up and developing their business. To help set up responsible financial practices in order to prevent overborrowing for lower income entrepreneurs. To help create easy access to finance for the unbanked and also help lower the cost of finance. To give SC/ST preference in lending. To regulate all microfinance institutions dealing with manufacturing, service and trading. Who is eligible for loan under Mudra Yojana? Under the Mudra Yojana, all small businesses and enterprises in need of finance are eligible for a loan. Businesses of proprietary as well as of partnership nature are eligible. Apart from this, all small business and manufacturing units like food services, vegetables and fruit vendors, hair cutting salon, beauty parlors, transportation services, repair shops, self-help groups, hawkers, artisans and various other professionals and service providers working at lower level are eligible to avail loans of up to R'(S.10 lakh. What are the benefits of Mudra scheme? First off, no necessary collateral or loan application fee is required to place an application for loan. Apart from this, another key feature of this scheme is that its interest rate is only 1%. With such key features, easy access, systematic guidelines and low cost of finance, this will indeed help the small businesses and entrepreneurs from lower income groups to develop and grow and increase their social upward mobility, and in turn develop the country's economy as well.